Hey, good evening. Please excuse me for my tardiness. How are y'all doing this evening? How was the week? What is new? I just feel like a lot of things that I have been praying about have been answered this week. So feeling pretty good. Pretty good. Just saw Sinners. Okay, so first, nope. Says yes, I just say Sinners, and man, it is extremely bad movie. Now I don't. What is Sinners? Who's in that? What's that about? And when you say it was bad, is it bad because like it wasn't a well thought out movie, or what's going on? I feel like I'm doing good. I hope you guys are doing good. Like I said, I hope the week was good. A lot of blessings and even trials, because we need those as well. So thank you for being here. So who saw hey, greetings, Azim. Greetings. Freddie B, thank you. Says hit the like as soon as you step in. I appreciate that. So first of all, did y'all see the new drop? I thought it was a little fishy. Just the name Blue Origin it just doesn't sit right with me, because I'm like, origin of what? What are you trying to tell us? Or tell yourself what's going on. And to see that they have all these religions behind this. And I don't know, again, I don't know what's going on. I can't say I've personally seen anything like that, but I do remember being young and I was inside, but my play cousins were outside and they said that they saw some type of craft pass overhead. Now, I don't know, like I said, but I think they're trying to open us up to like they said, colonization of space, and they're in, I don't even know what word I want to use right now. I don't want to say cahoots. They're in cahoots with these, what they call alien beings. It's weird as I don't know what, but in my heart, I just don't think they're lying, but I just don't think they're lying. Because I think that these spirits come and talk to them who they're not supposed to be talking to. And and it goes down like that. Said, thank you again, Freddie B says, yes, great video. Listen, and I want to say that uncut that I did, there were parts in that well, I guess there was a part in that was banned. It had it made it so that it was banned globally. I was like, globally, dang. Because sometimes they'll ban you in like certain places, but globally, like nobody can see this. So I don't know. So yeah, I said the new video too. I need to rewatch it because that. And it makes sense, but at least they're admitting that it's the edge of space. They're not actually in space, but they're at that line where if you step over it, then you're in space, but they're kind of just below that. At least they're saying that. And I read that the only way that they can get out of this atmosphere is with a rocket. And so that's why you have, the spaceships that they say have gone up there, Apollo 11, Saturn 5. And it's just the names that they choose for these rockets and these missions are telling as well. Azim says what? Let's see. Sinners is essentially a dusk to dawn vampire movie, but white people are vampires and Jesus is evil. And if your religion does go back to your ancestors, you're evil. If your religion goes back to your ancestors, you're evil. I guess if your religion doesn't go back to your ancestors, you're evil. Yeah. I guess I don't get it. But white people are vampires and Jesus is evil. That's what, I guess I don't. I guess I would have to watch it to see the correlations, but okay. It sounds like it's not good. But I don't want to judge it before I see it. So let's see. Let me go in my Rolodex. Oh, lab-grown skin made from human cells now lets robots smile and self-heal like us. Have y'all seen what they're doing with these robots? Why would they need to why would they need to have skin that it's just weird. Just made of human cells? Whose cells? Whose cells are these that they're using? To make these robots auto heal. What? It's just a lot of people coming up missing. I saw that. I don't know if it's related, but 17 people came up missing by, I guess, answering to an Indeed ad. And it just, so there's, I'm just, so many things to say. So Nope and I were having a conversation about, have y'all seen and I know I'm segueing to all kinds of stuff, but it's gonna all make sense. About the new KFC commercial where they're in the forest and they're like, and it looks like they have this ritual going on, and then they grab this guy and they carry him out into, it's supposed to be like a river, but it actually looks like some grease. It actually looks like grease. And so they dunk him in it, and then he comes up a piece of fried chicken. Like when they pull it out of the water, it's a piece of fried chicken. And again, they've already said that they were going to stop using chickens for the chicken And so it just these people keep coming up missing, and then they're using humans for all these different experiments, is all I'm trying to say. It just so happens that all these experiments, and they're talking about McDonald's with the meat supposed to be humans. There just seems to be an awful lot of humans being used for their projects and their experiments and their products. Said no, don't watch it. That's literally it. The vampire bites someone and they fake like they're having a baptize, fake like they're having baptized, and they raise up, turning into a vampire too. It's all mockery. Oh my. Well, that's crazy. Yeah. I hope they don't start releasing a gang of vampires upon the people. I hope that's not a foretelling. Because if they're snatching people up, I guess we don't really hear about it. But if they're starting to unleash these demons as well, I heard people are coming up missing from Indeed too. Yeah, it's like you can't even go on a job interview. I don't know. Yeah, Indeed people coming up missing. Why? Who exactly? I don't know. I do not know. And it just seems like it's getting to be a lot of snatchings. A lot of people getting snatched up these days. Sometimes they find them caged up and stuff. Sometimes they find them dead. It's just sad. You got to really watch. Again, you just got to watch your back. And I know that you can't always, still might go down, but at least you tried to just pay attention. And it doesn't mean be paranoid, but it just means to be paying attention. I don't know why it's weird though, people setting up fake interviews. Yeah. Again, because they're lying in wait. There's people that actually lie in wait for other people. And what that means is they wait to catch you slipping so that they can harm you or kill you. There's just people like that. And I know there are the sect of people that say, oh, well, you should tell them that they need to stop doing such and such. Yeah, we understand that, but criminals are criminals for a reason. Wicked people are wicked for a reason. You think wagging your finger at them, telling them it's wrong, it matters? They know it's wrong. So it's stupid. I mean, it's just, we know that already. That is a given. But what do you do in order to protect yourself, knowing that these people are out there? I hate when it just seems people act like it's just a one-sided thing. Like, yeah, duh. Sorry, I had to rant about that. But yeah, that's weird. That's weird that people are getting snatched up off Indeed. I was wondering, so what got it flagged globally was the Tupac hologram. I don't know, maybe because that's like someone's personal footage or whatever of the event, but does that look real enough? Just honestly, does that look real enough to, like, if they were to show you an image of, like they said, a Buddha or Jesus or Muhammad, would you fall for it? If you saw that out and about walking, I guess, I don't know how they would put it out amongst us. I know they had it on a stage, but if they were to put that out amongst us, would you be fooled? I don't know. So I don't know how they're gonna pull it off. But it has to be something that is gonna be pulled off, or else God wouldn't warn us about it, right? He wouldn't tell us, hey, they're gonna say there's many Jesuses. There's gonna be many people saying they're Jesus. They're gonna tell you he's over here. They're gonna tell you he's over there. Do not be fooled by it. He said no, but I'd be creeped the heck out. Listen. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would just. I don't even know if I would be creeped out. I think because now I guess I would see it coming. I mean, I guess I've always known to see it coming because I've always known who Jesus was, and I know when when he's coming back. Not like when he's coming back, not the day or time, but from what he says. So I know not to get tricked by these false Christs. So Platinum Trophy says, would the chosen one be America? So they're saying that America is Babylon. So I would say so. Oh, would the chosen be from America? I do not want to misquote, but I don't think it's from here. I think it's more, like I said, I don't want to misquote. I'll have to get that answer, but I want to say it's around like Persia. Edelson, good evening. Good evening. How are you? Yes, but okay, so I just think we're gonna be. I think we're a cat. I think we just have a big hand in the downfall. It's gonna be, again. They have United Nations, so it's gonna be a lot of them. What do they say, about 10? Again, Platinum Trophy. Let me look that up while we're on here so that I do not misquote. So give me a moment to find that and get that. I need that verse where it's talking about um the man of perdition. Said, we got any topics today? So I'm kind of just rambling on. I've got some screenshots, some things that I've been running across. Not a main one, just covering some of the weird stuff I've seen this week. Sorry, where was oh yeah. Daughters of War. Sorry, give me just a second. Let me grab that. I mean, what have y'all seen this week that was new, that was shocking? It doesn't have to be shocking, but what was interesting? Um, I'm trying to find, because I know it's talking about the King of the North, King of the South, Easter. You mean like the history behind Easter? So Easter is in the Bible. So I wouldn't want to misquote. Let me bring that up as well. And so I'm going to take it from there, because we've all heard well, maybe we have, maybe we haven't. The notion that it's an idol, a fertility goddess. America celebrates Easter, and the church doesn't, on the same day with the same themes, and doesn't see the issue. Because the difference is that Easter is supposed to be different than the Passover. Okay, so the exact verse that has the word Easter in it, let me bring up. So it's in Acts 12, verse 4. Okay, so now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then there was the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to the four quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Okay, so what is Easter? Etymology, this is coming from the Greek. Pascha. Well, it says it's the Passover, the Aramaic origin. Okay, so we'll go to the Aramaic origin in a second. So the Paschal sacrifice, which was accustomed to be offered for the people's deliverance of old from Egypt. The Paschal lamb, the lamb the Israelites were accustomed to slay and eat on the 14th day of the month of Nisan, the first month of the year, in memory of the day on which their fathers were preparing to depart from Egypt, were bidden by God to slay and eat a lamb and to sprinkle the doorposts with the blood, that the destroying angel, seeing the blood, might pass over the dwellings. Christ crucified is likened to the slain Paschal lamb. Okay. So this is what they called Easter. Um, okay, sorry, I was trying to see if there was anything else I need to pull. Okay. Let's see. And not gonna lie, having the church reenact Jesus dying is low-key disrespectful and this is disgusting, but that might just be my personal issue. Um, yeah, probably because we're not supposed to even make an image of him. And so having that reenact, I can see how that's wrong. Because it's almost no, I wouldn't say it's I don't know if it's mocking. I don't know if it's mocking. It might be borderline mocking. It might be borderline. Yeah, that's what makes it hard in these in churches, because you have ministries and a lot of them have the plays that they do now, and so it's figuring out where's drawing the line with those. And I remember, again, when I was a praise dance teacher, you had to just make sure that you were being aware of, because my girls were teenagers, so it was just making sure we weren't moving hips, we weren't wearing, revealing clothing, or things like that, things that might entice the congregation rather than minister to the congregation. So those things with church activities like that, I guess in my older years, I just felt like I just didn't know where the line was. So it was hard to keep participating. It was hard to find songs, like, man, you really want to, they really give you songs that you want to twerk to. The songs are just like rap songs. And, I hope I'm not by myself. Like, you heard it. Some of y'all have heard it, and you might even mess around and, do a body roll or something, and bam, you're like, man, I messed up with this gospel, supposed to be gospel song, and plug them in the club. So I'm sure it's similar in the US, but in the UK, non-believers celebrate Easter as a holiday, super commercialized, chocolate Easter eggs, and etc. It's basically a day off for most people. And that's what a lot of the holidays have become. And here's the thing, just like with Christmas, if it's supposed to be a holiday that is worshiping Jesus, why is it that non-believers are celebrating it? Everybody's celebrating it together. So what is it really about? And so going back to Easter, just the question of Easter, the idol behind it is supposed to be a fertility goddess. And so the Easter eggs are supposed to, how rabbits can lay a bunch of eggs? They're supposed to be very fertile. So that those two things are supposed to correlate. And the name of the goddess was Ishtar. And so that's where Easter is supposed to come from. So if this is what they practice, and this is, I guess, like they always do, they take God's things and then they twist it around and they slap another meaning on it. Instead of just changing the word and making it something else, no, they take the word and then they slap another meaning on it. So Now it's all about Easter eggs and stuff like that. At the bare minimum, it's mockery by very definition, but I get why you might be hesitant. Yeah. Because you just don't, well, for me, it didn't want to lead anybody astray. That was the big thing. That's the big thing about being in ministry. I don't know, to be honest, people understand better when they see stuff. I know people were crying when they saw The Passion of the Christ in the cinema. Okay, I'll be honest, I've never seen The Passion of the Christ, but I hear that it is a tearjerker. I did hear that. Okay, so I have found the chapter that this is in. If you want to read it, Platinum Trophy, Daniel 11 is going to have the whole thing, right? If you ever just want to read it. But so in Daniel 11, the daughter, sorry, give me just a second. I'm trying not to. Okay. And in the end of the years, they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. But she shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm, but she shall be given up, and they that brought her, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times. Okay, so it sounds like her and her dad go down. So the king of the north and the king of the south are fighting. And then they return to their respective countries. Okay, so the king of the north takes up his mount, the arms of the south. Okay, I'm trying to get to the part where the Antichrist comes in. Okay, so this is what it says. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do. And he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her, but she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. After this shall he turn his face unto the isles, and shall take many. But a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach, he shall cause it to turn upon him. I'm trying to see if it says I don't think it really says exactly where he's going to be from. It just says he's going to enter peaceably. He shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries, and with the arms of a flood shall they be overthrown from before him, and shall be broken. Yeah, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up and shall become strong with a small people. And he shall enter peaceably, even upon the fattest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey and spoil the riches. Yeah, and he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds even for a time. Okay, so that's what it says about that. Let me see. He said Passion of the Christ was a great movie. Wait, sorry. Azim said exactly. Passion of the Christ was a good movie. But up until recently, I thought it was a movie that was in English. Oh, I guess I thought it was too. Didn't they didn't make an English version? Again, I haven't seen it, so. I mean, for the best of my knowledge, both of the UK and the US were historically Christian countries, so the holidays just persisted, I guess, regardless of what people believe in, which holds true nowadays. Yeah. But not everybody believes in. Maybe I don't know. Are there people out there that believe that Christ is not king and celebrate Easter? I don't know. If you're out there, let us know. Do you celebrate Easter, but you don't believe in Christ? What else do I see? There's definitely people that celebrate Easter but don't believe in Christ. Yeah, I think that these holidays are just universal. Everybody's just, well, not everybody, but most people are just celebrating them. And again, it has nothing to do with Christ. They do it for their kids' enjoyment or because they grew up doing it. So do you all believe in, I don't know, playing like those characters are real, like the Tooth Fairy and the Bunny Rabbit? Because there are people that I know someone personally who is genuinely, I guess that's when they knew that their parents were liars. Let me just flat out like that. They were like, that's when I knew. Because at first they're like, oh yeah, because you're believing everything. They're your parents. You're young. And then bam, you find out these things that you believed in. What you mean Santa Claus ain't real? Do you remember when you first found that out? That like Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and all that was not real? I remember me and my brother having a conversation about that. Like, can you believe it? You got to be kidding me. We were in the middle of the grocery store. Can't remember how we found out, but I just remember where I was. Like, what? Nope, said no. And it's hard because everybody around them is going to be doing it. Everybody around is going to be celebrating, having their little Easter baskets and going on Easter egg hunts and they be looking crazy. Wondering why they can't participate. Said, no, I wouldn't teach my kids that those fairy tales are real. Yeah, I think now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't even play. And maybe not even for the reason that they'll think I'm a liar, but just like, nah, just because I just don't buy into that stuff anymore. I knew my parents were liars. Sorry. Sorry. I knew my parents were lies when they said they were Christians but thought open marriages were okay. No, no, no. Dang. Hey, marriages have become, they consider anything a marriage these days. So, why do you think parents tell their kids this stuff like Tooth Fairy and Santa? Does it keep them happy and innocent? Because some of it seems like social pressure because their friends will tell them. Yeah, they sure will. A lot of kids do find out from their friends. Why do I think that parents tell their kids this stuff is real? I, you're, I, I, I don't know. Because I want to say tradition, but I'm wondering if my mom or whatever even did that kind of stuff back then. Because there were a lot of them. I don't know if they did that. But I think for a lot of families it's tradition. It's just what that's just the only thing that they've known. They probably don't even have a rhyme or reason for it initially, but I think it is to, see a smile on people's faces when they give the gifts. I think, and for some reason, holidays have just the sentimental tie to people. I don't know what it is. It has a hold on people. Holidays have a hold on people. And no, hey, whatever, whatever. If you like to celebrate holiday, whatever. I'm just saying that it's a thing that people like to do. Um, so that's a great question. I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't know why my parents told us that. I honestly think that's doing your kids in general a disservice because they can't make them grow up thinking Christ is made up too. Yeah, you're right. That's a really good point because it all becomes fairy tale after a while. You're right. Um, and I just think that, and just in my honest opinion, some people get roped up in it even though they really can't afford it. And I'm not here to say what people can't afford and whatever. I'm not in people's pockets, but people know doggone well, like, I really do not have the money, but I'm going to splurge on this holiday and just make it up and try to, make it up somewhere. And again, it ends up not even being about Christ anymore. So, and didn't they try to Xmas? Didn't they try to take Christmas? They wanted to get rid of the word Christmas and just say Xmas at one time. So that lets you know. I don't know. Because he's silly. Because he started off real strong. I'm like, And if there's presents and gifts under a tree, I don't want my kids thinking a white man is doing that for them. They better credit me and my hard work to get them what they want. Ex- um, apart from uh, giving the credit to anybody, I wouldn't even want that, whomever. Yeah, if I'm the one going out, and absolutely. But those two things, I feel like you can't tell them about yeah, exactly. Those things you couldn't do it at the same time. It's going to be either one or the other. Either parents got it for you or Santa got it for you. So yeah. And they'll receive gifts all through the year if they are earning it by good behavior. Yeah. So that they don't, and that helps you too. So it's not all at once. But no, I think those are good incentives for the kids that want those things. Yep. My parents used to give us, money for like A's and B's on a report card, progress reports. So you want to, you just, because school is not fun. Well, it is, but it isn't. He said, but wasn't the thing that Coca-Cola, where their sales were down during the winter in 1930s, so they took on Santa where he used to be depicted more green, saintly, but changed to red to fit their branding. Yeah, made him jolly, yeah, jolly and fat. Yep. And started raking in the buku money. And those, yeah. I think they even had a news special on that, if I'm not mistaken. But mm, I don't know. I do not know. But yeah, my niece found out. She found out. She tried to put popcorn out for the Easter Bunny, and she found out that the Easter Bunny don't like popcorn. So she's starting to question. she's 6. So I don't know if this is I don't know if that's too controversial of a topic. I'll leave that one. Um, have y'all heard that Oprah Winfrey and Helen Mirren are sisters? I know that's a weird question. It's probably nowhere in your radar, but these people be connected in weird ways. These people be connected in weird ways. I'm wondering why they picked the people for the flight that they leave that one. No, it's just that I heard him talking about it on the Anton Daniels show, how they had come out with a new Plan C pill. So I didn't know that. So I guess I didn't know that there was a difference in the pills. Like in the, obviously there's the Plan B, everybody knows about that one, but they have a Plan C. And so I guess the Plan B is supposed to be before, keep anything from, I guess, connecting. But the Plan C is for after you already are pregnant and you take it, and then it gets rid of the child. And it says that but the FDA came out with a report saying that the casualties from the abortion pill are climbing. Approximately 7.5 million are using this thing. I just, oh really? Oh, that was in the comment section. Yeah. um I just there was a video of girl, she was dancing outside of a clinic after just I don't know if she had just gotten the procedure done or she was just about to get it, because I didn't know that you could move around like that after you just get it done, but um yeah, I'm not an expert on that either. It just seems that there's I don't, if any of y'all saw that My Atlantis video, how that talks about the daughter of war. And I just read a passage talking about how that king's daughter was going to go and make a league, but she was going to have the arm. There's a whisper going, and it's speaking to a lot. It's speaking to the women, and it's telling them to praise this stuff, and it's telling them to go online and to celebrate it so that other people see it and they celebrate it, and it's catching like wildfire. And they're doing this to a lot of different just the wickedness women can have. It's playing to that character. Are y'all seeing that? It's like they're all hearing the same thing. Get online and like it just Plan C, if it's toxic enough to kill a baby, why not a human? Exactly. And that's a really good point. But they're gonna, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna matter, but they're gonna try to blame it on people that don't want them doing this. Somehow they're going to try to blame it on pro-life people. I truly believe women are out here with more bodies kills than young men. Yeah, it's starting to seem that way. I'm like, who are really the serial killers? I mean, two could be true at the same time. They could both be serial killers, but yeah, some people got a lot of bodies, and it's these babies. Yep. It's just a lot of blood being shed. It's a lot of blood being shed, y'all. And I know people don't see it like that, but it's a lot of blood being shed. I don't mean to get dark into this area, but it's a lot of wickedness. Fine, I'll say it. Modern women are celebrating killing their babies. They are. It's a weird thing. I've never seen anything like it. I never would have thought I would see this at all. This is some wild stuff that we're seeing these days. And when, man, I don't want to keep. Mm, 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 mm. And they don't even believe they got bodies because they don't see fetuses as humans. I know it. I have a picture, and the baby was so tiny in her hand. Where is that at? The baby was so tiny in her hand. God is not pleased. And people don't think that judgment on the land is a thing. Like they just this. Well, it don't affect you if you don't want one. Okay, if I don't want one, I got it. Don't get one, I got it. But at the same time, you're saying, how does it affect you? Judgment is on the land. Judgment. Mm. Um. So what the heck is Plan C? That's how irresponsible people are. That eager to lay up with someone, then think there are no consequences. There's only one thing that makes a baby, besides all the unconventional stuff, turkey basters and all that stuff. The only way to make a baby is by you laying down with the opposite sex. And everybody knows that. And we're acting like we don't. That's the thing that irks me. They're making it seem, they try to lay it on they try to make an excuse for everything. And they even try to question you. Well, do you, take in foster kids? They try to get you. It's like, what does that have to do with what you did to make this baby? To conceive means to plan. So you know what you were doing. All I can imagine is these innocent souls crying out to the Father. I know it's too much. I mean, one is too much. One is too much. It's in the womb. They are aborting the babies for the love of doing it. At this point, it's really disgusting. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is one of the things that has to happen. This is the easiest way to shed blood. And it's just going to help usher in the Antichrist. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to watch the Atlantis video. And people think all sin is the same. There are sins stronger than others. Murder is stronger than stealing. It comes with more consequences, and the spirits behind these sins are stronger than others. Yeah. But yeah, it got dark. I'm a little conspiratorial, but you think it's on purpose to harvest stem cells, organs, blood, etc. Like Jones was talking about that before. Do I think it's on purpose? Yeah, they're using it for something. That's why, earlier I was talking about it's a lot of people missing. And sometimes when they find people, their organs be missing. They blood be missing. And no doubt, again, yeah, I think people are definitely being used. It's dark. I know. The cup of iniquity is running over slowly. It almost feels like it's accelerating. Honestly, it feels like they're putting their plans into place faster and faster. But I think, like I said, the devil knows he has but a short time, so they have to work overtime to get their plan done. The Kanika Jenkins case is one of the only cases I recently looked up and felt eerie the whole time. Yeah, because I guess a lot of things just felt like it was too perfect. Her being out of frame was too perfect. Not seeing her walk into the freezer. I think there's a lot of things that were convenient about. She wanders off. I mean, mm, mm. And it seems like a lot of these parents, they be getting paid off. I don't know if her mom was, but mm. And to get even more dark, all that sex rituals cause all those actions can be manifested from lustful spirits. And if sex manifests life on earth, then killing that life turns it into a death ritual. It all goes hand in hand, even though it may not seem like it. They don't know that they're being used. And they might not see it as a ritual, but for sure, yeah, the spirits are having a ball. Some of these folk. And he talks about babies that were carried to term, viable to be born, but later delivered and taken away, or in some cases aborted after 7 months. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they be doing crazy stuff to those children. They'll put them in just dirty places and leave them to starve to death. It's really sickening. It's really sickening. They said Selena Gomez got her kidneys. The whole story is crazy. I know. I think we even had a discussion about that. I might even made a short little video, but and it was weird how she had that video where she was in the freezer dancing around. It just all, yeah, like you said, it was all too eerie. Is that the stuff these people do? Yeah, Zach TV died investigating the case, and like 3 other people. Oh, I didn't know about the 3 or 4 other people. I knew Zach TV. That was weird. I didn't know about him until that case, until he started getting really big investigating that. But yeah, I wonder what he found out. I wonder what he found out. Because again, some people, they're just like, okay, whatever, put out your little information. But some people, what gets you taken out? Like, what did he see? What did he know? You heard he got a couple phone calls telling him to stop. Yeah, exactly. He kept getting warning calls to stop looking into it by multiple people. Man. And that probably pushed him even harder. Like, man, I must be onto something. They're telling me to stop. And where does all that death go? That's a lot of power going somewhere. I don't know. I just know that it speaks about the blood crying out once it's spilled, because we're supposed to give our blood. God said he's going to require our blood. He requires our blood from us. Not from us. That sounds like a vampire, but it's not anyone else's job to shed our blood. When we die, then whatever happens with our body happens with our body, but you aren't to cause the death of someone to have their blood be shed. That he wants. Listen, it's just wickedness. I used to watch Zach TV before the case. He did all interviews of gangs in Chicago. Wow. And that's crazy that he can interview all these gangs and there's no issues, but when he gets too close to this thing, he's gone. That's the real gang. Shoot. You ever see those videos of kids and toddlers talking to people, saints that aren't there? They're supposedly more receptive to different frequencies, so that why is it possible pineal not calcified? I can't say. I know that there is a chapter or a verse that says that I don't know if this is the baby's angel is always facing towards God or something along those lines. So I don't know if there's an angel. I don't know. I don't want. I don't know if that child's angel is communicating, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but I don't know if that's a thing. I don't want to take that verse to mean something that it doesn't mean. It's true. And the Bible says all life is through blood. Exactly. Blood shedding is powerful, whether we are aware of it or not. It really is. I know you spoke about the pineal gland before. I thought you might know something. Not about being able to see spirits and things like that. No. I know that God can open our eyes to see those things. If I'm not mistaken, that was it Joshua that he allowed him to see that there were chariots and stuff in the valley with him, so he knew he wasn't fighting alone. But I don't know if I don't believe in that kind of stuff where, if it's not calcified in the ways to do it. I guess I don't have any. Because from my understanding, all that comes through like the chakra system. And the point of the chakras is to raise up the Kundalini spirit from the base of your spine all the way through their, I believe there's 7 chakras, if I'm not mistaken. You raise it all the way up until it gets to your forehead. And then once it gets to your forehead, then your third eye is opened. And then I guess that makes you, quote unquote, as God. Yeah, but again, there's different, depending on what religion, there's different ways in which that third eye gets opened. So yeah, that's really all I know about it. And again, grown people are telling us that there are rituals and stuff that you can do in order to open your third eye. So if that's the case, how are these babies, these kids and these toddlers supposedly having this ability because of their pineal gland? You know, so that again, that's why that's why I was trying to hands off of it. I'm like, I don't know, because to me it doesn't all quite make sense based on these different belief systems. So I want to tell y'all now, Enoch, Ecclesiasticus 1 and 2, Idris is supposed to be in scripture. Now, I'm not quite sure about Ecclesiasticus and Idris. You said more too. Enoch, the only reason why I would even make a case for Enoch is because the Bible mentions it. If the Bible didn't say, isn't it written in the book of Enoch, I wouldn't, I would put it in the other categories of the apocrypha books. So, yeah, I think it even mentions the book of Jubilee and a couple other books, but I can't, I don't know. I mean, I've read the book of Enoch. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it should have been taken out or if it should have. They were, I don't know. I said more too. What is flat line? Is that what that means? Flat line? Well, fluoride calcifies the pineal gland, and when you're younger, I assume you have less exposure and the heart is more pure. And Utah just bans it in their water. And okay, so from my understanding, calcifying the pineal gland would mean that, I guess the point would be to not have a clear vision. They wouldn't have as clear a vision, to make them more docile, wouldn't be able to think. You'd be able to indoctrinate them better. If I'm not mistaken, that's what the fluoride does. Sorry, I had a point with why I brought that up. I'll come back to that. Okay, sorry, that's what I was going to say. Because that's what they believe in. Because they believe in this pineal gland and it being opened and being able to be like gods. And that's why they would give us fluoride to block it. They want us to be docile and not be able to think and kind of just be go along with the flow. They count on us just going along with the flow. They love when we don't read and don't know about anything. Also, have you seen the movie Opus? Opus. Let me look that up. It sounds familiar, but I don't think. No, that's a new movie, right? Or is that something else? Because when I pulled it up, it's. Mm-mm. If not, but no, I haven't seen again. I don't. Mm-mm. I'm reading them all right now. Just finished Ecclesiasticus. They all line up with what's written in the canon. I'll have to check it out. I can't say that I've read Ecclesiasticus or Idris, but again, I read Enoch. I really like the luminaries when they talk about the luminaries and how they move and how the sun has its line that goes out. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But again, hello, how's it going? I'm doing well. How about yourself? You don't talk about politics too much, but what do you think about the current administration? Seems fishy, tariffs, economy, etc. Yeah, not too uh, like I dabble, not too much into politics, but I don't mind speaking about it. I'm still just sitting back because on one hand, and again, I might be really, really ignorant on how stuff works, but I thought the idea of the tariffs, hiring the tariffs in foreign countries, is so that we can keep the money in house and local businesses and other companies can start to come up here and we can buy from us instead of all of our money going out there. They're making stuff for 15 cents on a dot, and we're paying all this money for it. Because look, I, but then you have these brands coming out. Did y'all see that? Gucci and all them just came out saying that they're made in China. So they had this weird relationship. Again, I'm still sitting back. I'm just watching right now because I don't know who the good guy is and who the bad guy is. So that's Edelson. That's why I don't say too much about politics. I don't know. To me, I think they're all the bad guys. And they're just playing a game where what is it? I don't know what the game is called, but one is being made to look like the bad guy so that the other one can come in and look like a hero, but at the same, like behind the scenes, they're really on the same team. This is a game. That's how I personally feel. So does it seem fishy? It always seems fishy to me. And yeah. But I also don't think that Kamala would have been any better. I think we were doomed either way. We're doomed either way. And they do that. They stack the deck on each side. I'm going to say almost perfectly to suit their plan, because they know that majority of the country is not going to go for what Kamala was trying to push, especially when she was pulling up with the abortion buses at the colleges. They were like, hey, no. And she came out and was acting like she was a sister, and then they found out she wasn't a sister, and then it was real messy. I don't know. Right? I know that direction wouldn't have been good, but then they also have it stacked to where they make you hate her so much that you'll go with the other guy, even though you really don't want to go with the other guy. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not. That's what I think they do. Did you ever watch the gravy commercial? I believe we spoke about that a little earlier. If you're talking about the gravy commercial, the KFC, where they went and dunked that man, and he came up a fried chicken leg. Crazy stuff. And again, now speaking back on KFC, they admitted to doing the 3D printing. KFC admitted when they said that they were no longer going to use chicken, they said that they were going to go to 3D printing. Have y'all ever seen them 3D print some food? They literally use a computer and then it comes out a steak or a chicken nugget. It's crazy. And that's when I stopped eating them. So now, again, you obviously not. I just don't think you're lying. You went and dunked this man, and to me, again, it looked like some grease. You went and dunked this man in some grease. He came up fried. Nope. Yeah. No. Haven't seen that. Yeah, just because again the horror genre. But let's see what this is about. A young writer travels to the remote compounds of a legendary pop star who mysteriously disappeared 30 years ago, surrounded by a cult, a psychophants, and intoxicated journalist. She soon finds herself in the middle of his twisted plan. Mm-mm. No, I hadn't even heard of it. John Malkovich. Oh, he's still acting. I heard fluoride has to be handled with hazmat suits or something like that. Really? And we have it in our toothpaste and in our water. I guess they feel if they flush it out enough, but apparently it's whatever it is too much if they're complaining to get it out. One thing I've seen is China calling out designer brands and how consumers are getting ripped off by high margins and brand loyalty recognition, etc. $1,000 bag costs $15. Exactly. I'm seeing videos of people flipping out, going in their closet and pointing out to us all of the designer bags that they have from Fendi and all kinds of other designers. Come to find out, like you said, $15. That's a shame. I mean, but No, I'm not going to say I was expecting it. No, I wasn't expecting something like that. But these people have shown us that they're capable of anything. Politics and economics will forever be a game of Hegelian dialectic with one goal in mind. Exactly. Once I saw that documentary where it showed how the Republican and the Democratic Party were two wings of the same bird, and behind the scenes they were laughing and kikiing and sipping drinks, I was like, oh, okay. And I saw the system a lot differently that day. Because again, I was a pre-law major. I wanted to double major, but my parents said they were only paying for one major. So I was like, okay, I picked one. Either way, it was pre-law. But yeah, I just saw it a little differently, and it didn't quite, the field didn't quite look so good after that. You mean like George Carlin, it's a big club and you're not in it? I mean, pretty much. It's always a big club. It always comes down to a club, if you notice. Always comes down to it. But no. Left wing, right. Oh, I can't get that out. Right wing is still the same demonic bird. Yep. And that same documentary is the one that showed that Bush's dad had been funding both sides of the war. So it was all a big joke from that day forward. Things would have been worse with Kamala, though. I mean, she showed us, especially about budgeting money, so we know that part still would have been wasted. Again, I don't know. I don't know where the end goal is with what our president is doing now. And that's, yeah, makes it hard. Yeah, people say vote for the lesser of two evils, like voting for evil is something I should be interested in. Because they put in front of us that there's only two options. And a lot of people forget there are independent people and local people running for these spots as well. People around your neighborhood, people that you could get to know on a personal basis and see what they're about. I've worked for a congressman before. I've seen him get elected over and over again by the people. And I got to see personally how he treated his clients and things like that. And I understood why people were voting him in. But again, when you put these two big wings out in front of people all the time, and you make it seem like there's only two options, we probably would fare well with people who weren't in the media acting like they're in a circus. So you get to quietly take care of your community without all the clownery. Do you believe watching horror movies gives bad energy or invites unwanted spirits around? Curious, because you sound like you don't like horror movies at all. I'm not really big on the horror movie genre. Do I believe that it invites bad spirits? That's a really good question. Maybe a little bit, but I don't like being okay. I realize I don't like being scared like that. That's a really big part. Because I grew up just loving ghost stories. And I tell you, I would go to the library and I would get the same books out all the time. I love the scary stories you can tell in the dark. I like to read about the ghosts with the fingers that look like flames. You know, there were some stories that I would read when I was younger that literally I would not want to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because I thought that was, you almost feel like it's a reality. So after watching movies like The Ring, I don't know why The Ring was so scary, but when that first came out, when I tell you, I didn't want to walk in front of a TV. I didn't want to walk in the dark. Things that I know that I wasn't afraid of. I'm not afraid of the dark. I love sleeping pitch black. No sound, or, sometimes rain, but that's neither here nor there. But when you make me afraid of things that I wouldn't normally be afraid of, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like to be scared like that. So that's the main reason. But that's a good question. So maybe I don't know if that amounts to unwanted spirits. Because again, I really do love a good ghost story. But there are even some movies now I won't watch. I don't know, maybe it's a superstition thing, but I do not watch it in the dark. I'll wait till the daytime and I'll watch it just so I'm not too scared. Once I realized WWE worked, I understood politics. Y'all them actors under one branch. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I was really big on WWE when I was younger. And I saw how I don't want to ruin it for people because people still love WWE. I don't want to ruin it, but doesn't matter if the cat got elected. The president holds no power. They're just the face of the whole thing. Exactly. Especially after I did the United States corporation video, and I found out, oh, y'all are pretty much still owned. Y'all are just appointed to govern this place. Who owns y'all's land? And y'all all go and bow down to the church. Cabin in the Woods, The Substance. I feel like I'm building credibility with you. My movie suggestions. Where's the trust? I do again because I'm like, it's gonna be that one good movie, and it's gonna be stuck with me. It's gonna be stuck with me. He said, I don't. Please forgive me on pronunciations. I don't know much about this channel, but what's your testimony? Woo, that's a deep question. What's my testimony? If I had to put it in a nutshell, I got saved when I was 14, went off to college, drifted away a bit, and then once I graduated, started getting these dreams. Remember, one looked like Dexter's Laboratory and told me about being a teacher. So I remember starting all these blogs. I pretty much had these same kind of blogs since the beginning, since I heard that. Always surrounding scripture. And those dreams began to, I don't know, pretty much take me down a rabbit hole where things that I just thought were just stories when I was younger, like about the Illuminati and all that. I thought they just came and went when I was younger. But then I read a book called The Symbol. I just walked into Barnes and Nobles one day, saw it on the bestsellers rack right in front, and just needed something to read. So I grabbed it and I went home and read it. And it just didn't sound like a fiction. It just didn't sound like a fiction. It just the way that it was written. I can't explain it to you guys right now. It was probably about 20 years ago when this began. But I started researching the things that I would see in the book, just little different facts that it would have. I just would research it, and then it showed me it was true. I was like, oh, wait, what? And I did that with a lot of the stuff that I read. I pretty much did it with the whole book. And again, took me down a rabbit hole. And all the prophecy that I was seeing in the Bible, it just became so clear. You know, you start to see the mark of the beast developing in real life. Not, you see it on the pages of scripture, but then you start to see it actually developing in real life. Or you start to see because again, I was young. I would always read the Bible, but when you're in school, you're learning about evolution and things like that. But when you start to actually get older and different evidences start coming to light that you weren't allowed or to even see in school, all that started coming to light, started illustrating itself before me. And yeah, I've just been on this journey to show people that the Bible is true by showing them everyday things that we see every single day, and then showing them the scripture already told it a long time ago. So that's pretty much what this channel is about. And I do it through science, history, philosophy, religion, and everything in between. Yes. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I hope that wasn't too much. The only thing real about WWE was Owen Hart dying on live TV when he fell down. Wow. How traumatic that must have been. I mean, even any of these sporting events, because there's been plenty of even like a lot of soccer events and things like that, when people have gotten killed. But yeah, wow. That must have been crazy. Trump and Obama were laughing and conversing in one of the meetings while Kamala was jealous of them on live TV, and people still think politics is real. Exactly. Yeah. So, but they have so many tools to fool the masses. They have way too much. And you have to happen upon this type of information in order for it to even open your eyes. A lot of people will never look upon the information that we talk about. Again, when I heard about this stuff when I was younger, it went in one ear and out the other because it just sounds too much. It sounds like a lie. But then when you actually start researching it, it's just, whew. Let's see. Sorry, is that, no vanity Dre? Is that how you say it? Do you sleep on your left side or right side? I sleep on both, actually. I'm actually more of a stomach sleeper, but more stomach and sides, but I sleep on both sides. What is that? What? Yeah, I couldn't tell you which one I sleep on more. I think it's pretty equal. What's the information about the sides? You said, "Ayo, what type of strawberry or grape jelly type of question is that?" Hey, hey. I mean, pretty interesting question, yeah. He said, "Wow, interesting, nice testimony." Yeah, that's what brought me here. Sports sacrifices are disrespectful as hell. LMAO. When Kobe died, they made a Kobe helicopter toy. They even had a Kobe looking dude crashing in the helicopter on a cartoon and was asking for help. Yeah. The Now I didn't know that they made a Kobe helicopter toy. That's definitely disrespectful. Why would you even I wouldn't even think to buy that. And I think that cartoon, if I'm not mistaken, I think it came out before he passed away. How Just think about your Kobe and you're watching a doggone cartoon of you blowing up in your helicopter, knowing how these dudes get down. I feel like they're as if almost taunting. I would feel taunted. I don't know how he felt. I would feel taunted. Like, you know how you're going to off me. You're trying to show me in a cartoon, scaring me. I would be scared. I don't even know what would make him. I mean, I don't know if he saw it or not. So let me not say that, but I wish I would get into a helicopter. I would not. Haha, you sleep with your no. But I'd definitely rather just sleep. Yeah, sleep on my side. On my stomach. But he said yesterday night I slept on my right side and my pineal gland was starting to open. Whenever I couldn't sleep, I was tormented until I slept on my left. I will have to try that out and really, really pay attention because I dream a lot. I dream a lot. But I guess I never really paid attention to if I dreamed more when I fell asleep on my left side or on my right or what. Yeah. Said facts. So wait. Then I had a wet dream with. Okay, so then you had a wet dream with fornication with succubus and sheer. First wanted to kill me, and police was chasing her, and then she had sex with me. Oh my! Do you ever try to wake up when when you see the succubus? Because yeah, mm-mm. Because I don't know if you guys can see that kind of stuff, like you, but I try to wake up as soon as if I don't have them often, but I'm not gonna say I've never had them. Yeah, when I see them, I try to wake up as soon as possible before anything even goes down, if you can. If you can wake yourself up, do that. And today is Easter, all about fornication and fertility. Wow. Do you believe in the Illuminati card game? A good few of the cards actually came true, so it definitely is a form of predictive programming. From what I've seen, yeah, I've definitely seen more than a few that have come true. So yeah, I definitely believe in all that. I think that they were just telling us their plans because they have to. If you know about this kind of magic that they practice, they have to show us what they're going to do, so that it's almost as if we give them consent once we see what it is and we can still continue to engage. It's almost like giving consent. Said I'm 22, which is a master number, and I believe my family, which is all Mason on my dad's side, and my mom's side, her dad is in a cult as well. Really? Um, so what does a master number mean to you? I sleep on my back to prevent wet dreams. Does that okay? Yeah, yeah, again, I don't know how either or comes about, but that's good if you have a position that you can get in that helps you with that. I believe they're trying to sacrifice me or send me off to marriage. Oh wow. So if they so sending you off to marriage is a bad thing? Nope. What the fudge is going on? Oh no, we're gonna find out. I'm trying to find out. I'm intrigued. I said, if I'm not mistaken, that makes the energy and actual action more stronger if they tell or leave hints to what they'll do. Bernie Mac has said he was warned before they kill him. Really? He was warned? What did they tell him that what did he do wrong? I mean, because again, I've heard the stories about the cloning centers, but if he's saying that they um warned him, what was that about? Yeah. And said apparently he was a sacrifice for Steve Harvey. Most comedians say Steve isn't funny and he was jealous of Bernie, so he played a part in it. Yeah, I've heard some crazy stuff about Steve Harvey. Like that's what he definitely did what they said he did. Yeah, Bernie knew something was coming after him, and he kept saying in one of his specials, "I ain't scared of y'all," and the comedic skit seems out of place and random during one of his stand-up comedies. Yeah, that's just sad. He said, "I believe Bernie didn't phone." Definitely didn't seem like the type that would have. Have y'all seen that clip where he's with the cast of the Bernie Mac show? I think that's what his show was called, and they kept trying to sit the boy on his lap, and Bernie kept moving him. You know, like, no, he can sit beside me or he can sit in front of me. He can sit somewhere else, but he can't sit on my lap. It's pretty much Bernie's whole demeanor in that video, but they kept trying to do it. So I definitely believe he couldn't stay around long. Especially as big as Bernie was getting. You can't be that big and not and not conform. If they're trying to put you in that. Well, I can't say that. I can't say that. Because again, we're seeing that some people are coming out that actually in our eyes, I guess we would say are pretty big. But I heard he was trying to speak out. Like he was trying to cause a coup at the cloning centers type thing. Trying to get people to also turn. And that was a no-no. Like you can go, but you can't get everybody else to go with you. So I remember that. Yeah. Crazy stuff. It's just crazy stuff. Also, after Bernie died, all the comedians' career skyrocketed. And yeah, they tried to put the little nephew on his lap, and Bernie not playing. They tried to press him like 3 times. Yeah. And even, I hate to say it, but, and I know DL used to be funny to me, but now he's kind of just almost like he's selling out a bit. Obviously, Steve Harvey. Cedric has always, he stayed in the limelight, and Cat Williams said he don't write, so I think it did him well. Do you believe these people can still find salvation once they enter the industry, once you sell out, or do things, or do these things, there's no going back, or do you think they can find God? No, I think they can. I think that they can repent and be saved. But they have to want to. I think the issue with them is they sign these contracts, and in their mind, they feel bound to them. And again, you got to remember they're in communication with these spirits, and they're almost able to command them to do what they want them to do. So they feel very powerful with these spirits, and they don't want to go against these spirits. And almost, I think a lot of them sounds like they're being threatened, gang stalked, and different things like that. And so again, they feel like there's no hope. But will God accept them if they repent and turn to them? Yes. But it's a choice. Miss Sarah, okay, hey, late because of schoolwork. That video was crazy and scary. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. It was so good to have you as always. Have a great week. But no, I thought it was crazy. Yeah, I thought it was crazy and scary myself. Y'all have to know, I find so much enjoyment doing these research, because there's some things that I know on a surface level. Well, I find out that I know it on a surface level because as I'm researching, just trying to, I find out so much more because it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And then, yeah, so I get so much fulfillment after some of that stuff I would never have known if I didn't look into it. Oops, sorry. There are 22 stars in the Paramount logo, which represents 22 stars around some other thing, and the stars I can't remember right now. Isn't it like a rock formation? But okay, so 22. And so do you think that they're going to do it before you get to 23? He said, yeah, he tried to talk like Prince and Michael, but once you in, they definitely not allowing the same with ODB. Yeah, ODB again was crazy just because I saw that he was trying to get his family's land back in Manhattan. And he was speaking out about the Native Indians, same as Coolio when he passed, speaking about the Native Indians. Like, wow, that's a really, really touchy subject. Yeah, they all tried to speak. You remember Goosebumps from the 90s? I remember it. So I wasn't a Goosebumper. I made that up. I was into Fear Street, so I never read any of the Goosebumps series. I know it was really, really big, but I was on Fear Street books back then. Yeah, Fear Street that was my stuff right there. Taylor Swift also has a song called 22. There are only 3 masters, 11, 22, 33. And YK Yahushua died at 33, and there are 33 degrees in masonry. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so what makes them master numbers? Because I hear there so many numbers are special, it seems, in the occult. So then what makes those particular numbers master numbers? Gang stalking, which true name is narcissistic abuse by proxy. Okay, I truly think I may have dealt with that. Hope all is well. All is well, Mr. Davis. Yes. Wow, you feel like you have dealt with that? Why would no? Maybe that's too much of a question. I didn't know that was the true name. Narcissistic abuse by proxy. I wonder, I guess I have a lot of questions about that name. Because it almost makes it seem as though it's people that you know. Is that what it's supposed to be? Are these people that are they stalking people that they know in this whole gang stalking thing? I guess I always I always thought that they just picked somebody out and just started messing with them. I don't know if you listened to Linkin Park, but they said the lead singer was taken out for talking too much about human trafficking. Jay-Z liked the band also, so not surprised. I didn't. Wow. Okay. So hold on. Linkin Park. I do remember the guy. I don't listen to them now. I probably know a couple songs from them just because it was popular. They were really popular when I was growing up. Okay, so which one? Oh, Chester Bennington, right? He's the one that passed. And aren't they saying that he's one of the guy from Eatagate Pays um dad? He's the son of one of the Podestas. I've heard that. And so it wouldn't be surprising that he knows what's going on and possibly firsthand. But when he passed, I didn't know. I mean, I guess I still don't know what he said about it. But I didn't know he had been speaking out when he passed. But no, that is crazy that Jay-Z liked them. I wonder if they've seen some stuff. ODB did an interview with the whole Wu-Tang Clan saying, if I die, the CIA kill me. And they kept talking over him and looking at him like, yep, shut up, yep. And they planned his death. Absolutely. That was one of the videos that got banned on TikTok. That got me a strike on TikTok. Yep, these people talk. Take them out. I'm not sure. My grandpa told me his favorite number was 13, which is 1 + 3 = 4. My mom stayed in apartment 13, and my sister was born on the 13th. And see, again, I always grew up knowing about the superstitions behind 13. I'm born on the 13th, so I've always known about the superstitions surrounding it. Some birthdays were horrible, some were really good. So I know that there's a number thing out there. Numerology is, people go by it. I don't get into it to get omens, if that makes sense. But I am going to be doing a video. It'll be one of my morning dives on the Patreon about the angel number 1111, because in that KFC commercial where they're dunking that man in that grease, the number 1111 is showing in the background subliminally. And that's a big thing as well. They consider it an angel number. It's supposed to be really special. So I'm going to find out what they believe about it, so we can see what they got going on, what they got planned. And yeah, I've been gang stalked before. It's definitely real. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I remember when I first saw I don't even know if it was first saw, but I had commented on that ODB CIA video when I saw it. And I don't think, maybe I was being harsh on Method Man because he was so quiet and I felt like he wasn't standing up. And somebody came in the comments like, you don't know what it's like to be pretty much gang stalked. So pretty much I needed to shut up. And I felt that because at that point, I'd never even heard of it before. And when there was just so much conviction, even though it was written, it was, on YouTube, it was written. I felt the conviction in it. I was like, oh, something's up. I think that these people are almost scared into not saying anything because maybe they're being followed, or phone calls in the middle of the night and just crazy stuff. Walking into your apartment and it already being unlocked. They do psychological warfare to these people. Or like you said, Katie, the Rugrat, you said that you've been through this. This is, they almost torture these people in this way. In 13 is Satan's number, or also number of death supposedly. See that. I don't want to hear. Now, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't say this. I'm just saying that doesn't make me feel good to hear that the number 13 is Satan's number, knowing I was born on the 13th. So I wonder how these stigmas get put on these numbers. Where does that come from? How do you know what certain numbers mean certain things? What's the source of, does that make sense? Who told you that? And not in a bad way, but just who. And that's why I think the movie Truman Show is scary to me, because it seems so real to what I've been through before. And that's a movie that I want to rewatch. I'm just waiting for it to pop up again. Because I remember, watching it when I was young, and I was like, wow, the whole time, the whole time. And if it's not too much to ask, what would be the reason why you would be the target? And, also MAGA equals 22 and Trump's in office. Okay. But would that have ties to you though? The 22 and then Trump being in office? Unlike other numbers, they aren't reduced to the single digits, symbolizing a higher level of spiritual awareness and ability. Oh, okay. So 1 and 1 wouldn't be reduced. They can't be reduced to single digits. Again, I'm so fresh on all that. I'm so fresh. Do you have an email? I wrote what I think may be causing what's known as gang stalking, and also this perverted phenomenon known as a societal narcissism. Yes, just me and epiphany at Gmail. I'll put it in the chat. I would love to read that. ODB was spitting some real deal Holyfield, but he called himself a baby Black Jesus. Can't rock with that. Yeah, he was definitely wrong for that. He was definitely wrong for that. And I didn't even know it because if you guys have seen because I did put the uncut version of Project Bluebeam on the Patreon, and I was able to show some stuff that I wouldn't be able to show on the YouTube because of the strikes. But they even had the hologram of Tupac. He was even calling himself like this, as if he was Christ. I was like, man, people just say it without even, but again, a lot of people downplay who he was, so they don't think it's blasphemy to do things like that. It's absolutely blasphemy. Even though I like ODB, it was absolutely blasphemy. Also, they organized me to be molested by my cousin, and I believe they recorded it and sold it, and my dad ended up getting the van, which is weird to me. My goodness. Mm. I'm sorry. I'm at a loss for words. I ran away from home, so I'm homeless because these people are monsters. Okay, what do I want to say? It just sounds like a wilderness, but in a good way. The Lord used the wilderness to also hide his people in. And he would have them go through that land so that they could get to the land he promised them. But so I don't want to say it's good to hear that you're homeless, but it's good to hear that you're not in that situation. But I would just keep, praying, letting the Lord know you need a place to stay. Not that he doesn't know that, but he needs you to ask so that you can show your faith. Facts. The baby rap name used to be Baby Jesus, and his humiliation ritual was him wearing a diaper, and a lot of his videos got numerology in it. Of course, too, like everyone, he sacrificed a few family members. Yeah, his dad had passed. I remember that. But yeah, that was weird. And I saw the baby kind of late after he had really, really blown up. And then I saw the baby, the pamper. I was like, what? People just do anything. Yeah, people just do anything. 13 is the death card on tarot. See, I don't even know what to do with that. I don't even know. I used to believe in angel numbers, but then I realized it was new age and that wasn't true. Yeah. I just hear people talk about it. And I think, and just like I saw an interview, the guy was speaking on it, and then he said, do you think it's the reason why you see these numbers is because you're speaking on it? It's just like when you buy a car and then all of a sudden you see that car everywhere. So yeah, I think I've heard Chris Brown sing about it and stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna do a little research to see what they say. So when you believed in angel numbers, what were you, I guess, looking to gain? I understand they are scared and under intense situation, but also the damage some of them do throughout their careers and evil energy they spread undermines their victimhood in the long run. Method Man. Yeah. Just like Terrence Howard was saying, once you open that box, you can't go back. You can't forget what you've done. And you can't cry out as a victim. There are real victims out there. If you participated willingly, you can't cry out as a victim. That's just how that goes. My sister's name is Purple, which is blue and red combined, and the only tattoo my mom has is a cross. And okay. But you said that she was into a cult. I'm curious, if you were famous like Jay-Z's level, would you even bother trying to expose things knowing people don't care? Plus your whole family bloodline is done for at that point. Ooh, that's a great question. And I don't know why it's so hard of a question, because I'm down here, not nowhere near Jay-Z's level, and I'm all about exposing. But if I was in that situation and my family was in danger, I probably, maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't, but maybe I would discourage people around me from being in the industry if I knew. Because it's almost like I guess I think of it as being an accessory to crime, whether it's before or after the fact. I wouldn't want to tell you so that you have the ability to incriminate yourself. But I would definitely try to deter them the best way I could if I was at Jay-Z's level. Um, but man, but it's also crazy because it seems like even down here, you could still be in trouble. We talked about Zach TV. Now, obviously, his family, from what I know, nothing happened to them, but you just never know. Even in that last, even in the Project Bluebeam, that guy, David Crowley, they took him, his wife, and his baby out. And the baby. Great question, though. But I don't know. I'm trying to find out. But my grandma said when I was born, I was screaming and pointing at my dad. Hmm. I was just exposing things like Freemasonry on my IG and a lot more, and it started from there. Yeah, I mean it's quick. It's quick to go down the hole because the information, once you start looking, it's so easy to find. Everything, almost everything is interconnected. You know how they say 6 degrees of separation when you're talking about people? This information is almost like a 6 degrees of separation. And things that I knew back then, like way back when, I'm looking up stuff now and just going on tangents and finding the connection. I'm like, man, I've known this stuff for a long time. Never knew this stuff had any relation to it. So it's wild out there. Also, my mom was shot in the head and I disappeared as an infant. Wow. It reminds me of Yeshua's story. I'm also a frat born amongst many brothers, firstborn. Okay, so pretty much this number, you feel tied to this number. And I guess you're seeing correlations based on it. That's a lot. No vanity dread. That's a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I never really respected Method Man, but when he and ODB did the interview and ODB said to the camera he's not crazy, and Method Man was like, "Nah, don't hurt me, government. I love y'all. I lost respect for real." Yeah, that was a weird thing. When I saw it as well, but again, maybe he's at that level where his family could get touched. If he didn't say something, if he didn't speak up right then. Because again, that sentiment right there is what made me comment. And that's when the person clapped back like, "No, you don't know what you're talking about. These people are going through some things." So Mr. Davis said, "Okay, got you. I will definitely check that out." I remember believing in angel numbers when I was in New Age and was noticing it everywhere. Yeah, it's very easy to see them. And again, that's why I try not to play with those numbers too much, because I don't want to keep seeing it everywhere and think that's an omen of some sort. It was starting to make me uncomfortable. Yeah. Like when I see my birthday numbers, I'll be like, man, I see it all the time. But I purposely don't think anything of it. Yeshua died on a stake, not a cross. Um, I mean, did they say it was a? In your mind, what would be the difference? What? I mean, because I see cross, but what in your mind do you feel is the difference? And the cross means storos, a well-known instrument of most cruel and ignominious punishment brought by the Greeks and Romans from the Phoenicians. To it were affixed among the Romans down to the time of Constantine the Great the guiltiest criminals, particularly the basest slaves, robbers, the authors and abettors of insurrections, and occasionally in the provinces, at the arbitrary pleasure of the governors, upright and peaceable men also, and even Roman citizens themselves. An upright stake, especially a pointed one, used as such in fences or palisades. So yeah, it's saying upright stake. It's just calling it a cross. From the root word to cause to stand. Yeah, the cross is a really pagan symbol, but it's the message behind it that matters. Wait, did I miss something? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Honestly, speak up and your loved ones suffer. Also, don't speak up and you suffer and your family still gets watched and silent somehow either way. True. I mean, I guess I would love to think that I would always be a trumpet blower. But I think in the back of my mind, I'm also like, man, imagine, no, just me, imagining I tell someone something and then they get, they get killed because of it. When I see that in movies, I'll be so mad. Their best friend gets killed because they told them. It's just crazy. Yeah, the cross is really pagan symbol, but it's the message behind it that matters. Nope says, is this real or a troll? Okay. No Vanity says, this is real. My middle name is Demon. Really? Really? Your real name? That's a lot. That's a lot. I ain't gonna lie. Miss Sarah says, do you sometimes fear the government and the higher ups kicking your door down for exposing their evil plans, or do you think they don't care because they also expose themselves? Normally, I don't think about it. I mean, I do obviously in my research see where people die mysteriously, poison and things like that. But at the same time, I'm like, well, what else am I here for? If the Lord needs me to blow the trumpet and warn people, then he needs me to blow the trumpet and warn people. And either I can be timid and not do that. No, I can't even say timid is that. I just feel more compelled to do it. I don't want to call names. I just feel more compelled to do it more than I'm scared about the consequences. Yeah. But I think they do care because they've silenced me on many occasions. And my TikTok is down. They permanently, they didn't even give me a warning. They didn't even give me a warning on TikTok about being banned. They just permanently banned me. Yeah, I had a couple strikes, but I guess I didn't, unless the strikes lead to being banned. I don't know, but permanently banned. So, yeah, okay, this man is trolling, gang. I can't. It's a lot, but you know what? Again, I've learned that people, I don't know, people go through it. I don't know. Nope. I'm confused. I'm watching from Alabama, and Brock, it's good to hear from you from Alabama. Uh, my mother's whole side of the family is from Alabama, so I always rep it. So thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here. You ever read the first and second book of Adam and Eve, Conflict of Adam and Eve with Satan in the garden? Do you mean of Genesis? Or is that a different book? You said, why would I lie about my life? Again, if I hadn't read this stuff myself and seen the testimonies, I would think it to be far-fetched, but I know better. But it still does almost, I ain't gonna lie to you, it does almost feel like a lot. But if you say you're not lying, what can I say? T is for Tammuz. Who has less respect to you, a controlled opposition or a normal sellout? Because you got people out here like Professor Griff, who's down but won't say too much, and then you got a Jay-Z. So if I had to go by those examples to understand the controlled opposition or the sellout, that was wait. Now that I read that back again, that's nasty work. What? A controlled opposition or a normal sellout? Oh, dang. I think I'd rather be a controlled opposition. As man, sellout just that doesn't sit right with me. In the sense of, I know you're going down the wrong path, and I'm handing it to you. I'm never gonna hand it to you. Like some peer pressure, pass you the blunt type of stuff. That's no, that's that's not me. Even if I am not absolutely clear out the way, I'm still gonna say, hey girl, or guy, it's a manhole right there. You about to fall down. But if by what you mean as controlled opposition, I can speak, but I might not be able to say everything I want to say, I'd rather do that. If that's what you mean by controlled opposition. Because there was a time when Professor Griff was speaking out. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what he's doing these days. I guess I don't know if he's turned back, and I don't know if he's backpedaling or what. I don't know. But there was a time when Professor Griff was definitely letting us know about the industry. So yeah, I'd rather be like I'm doing now. There might not be everything that I'm allowed to say, but I'm gonna say as much as I can. Yeah, I'm definitely not selling out. What I told y'all last week, I'd rather be broke than fake. And I stand by that. From my understanding, the man called Jesus hung up on a tree sounds like a lynching, if you ask me. Well, that was pretty much so. Crucifixion is that how you say it? Crucifixion. I don't know if I just made that up. Crucifixion was one of the most egregious types of punishments there were back then. And they would hang you upside down. They would break your limbs. They would pierce your sides. Now, Jesus didn't have his limbs broken, but they definitely pierced his side. And to be hung upon a tree meant to be cursed. And so, yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. Just wasn't a round the throat type of lynching that we know of, but they definitely strung him up. It says they put nails in his hands and his feet. And he gave up the ghost. So, yep, all that plays a part. Okay, it's a different book. Okay, then I haven't read that then. Adam and Eve. No, I haven't read it. You said, because who the hell throws grenades like this? It's a lot, but shoot, some people need to get it out, I guess. A controlled opposition is with the program, whereas a sellout doesn't care what the program, they just want the money or the power. See, and that's why it's a hard question, because I wouldn't want either one of them on my character. And so, yeah, I wouldn't want either one. Yeah. That was a hard one. Yeah, you got to sneaky ones like Absol and Blatant. I don't care, like Lady Gaga. I have less respect for the knowledgeable ones who won't tell it like it is. Yeah. Yeah, so that was a hard one. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't want to be either one. InfoWars definitely controlled, but I used to watch Alex Jones when he asked the politicians about Bohemian Grove. And was he always controlled opposition? Like, at what point did he decide to be? See, I don't know. Sometimes I can't tell who's on what side. Have you heard of the Demolay? Nope. I'm only 22, but my soul is old as F. I don't want to kiss bloodshed nor be gay. Those are the doors. Yeah, unless you just do the simple, not gonna say simple route, but not work it without the machine. And they leave you broken, homeless, right? I'm in 15K in debt after the military. Yeah, there's definitely needs to be more programs for the military after they get out. I was doing a little consulting work and I just happened to be at the gas station. I'm standing in the aisle and there's nobody around me. And next thing I know, this guy is behind me. And it startled me a bit. And he starts laughing. I start laughing. And he said, that's what I'm trained to do. He's an old military veteran, been to Afghanistan and all that kind of stuff. So, we're just talking. And I end up saying, thank you for your service. Maybe because I'm used to saying it. When I was in sales, it was a must. If people were in the military, you thank them for their service. And he starts chuckling about that. And he kind of had something to say against it. Because he says nobody knows what it's like when we come back from fighting or whatever they've asked to do. And they don't look out for us when we get back either. They don't make sure that we, have the right medical care, or he said, because I'm messed up. I have PTSD. I can't even hang out on the 4th of July and hear those firecrackers because I start diving on the ground. And yeah, I just said all that to say we need, there needs to be more aftercare. There needs to be more aftercare, especially when you've asked them to serve the country in this way. Military is wrong and backwards. They do things left to right when it's supposed to be right to left. And what sucks for me is that with all the research that I've been doing, there's so many things you just uncover about the hands and the feet that the military have had, and a lot of this conspiracy going on. And again, people are messed up behind it. People are messed up behind it. Marxism manifests on a political level as communism, and interpersonal level as societal narcissism. Same playbook, be it political or personal. Francis Cress Welsing alludes to this in the ISIS paper. And I want to do a dive on the ISIS paper. So I'm glad that you brought that up. I've been hearing a bunch about it, and ISIS always comes up. ISIS comes up a lot. And I think she plays a big, big part in the end times. Don't get how people can deny cloning still, like clonate isn't a thing. And we talked about this last week when I brought up the Island Boys, and Vlad TV was the first that I saw to have these guys speak about clonate. And at first, no one believed. I remember watching at first, no one believed. He was sitting on the couch, he was talking. And then when he went and got his clone, then people sat up a little bit further and started really paying attention. And he could have been a twin. He could have been a twin, right? Identical twins. But dropping the name Clonate and then going and doing research and finding out, oh, these people, this is a legit company. And these people have legit families that come to them, and they're scientists who are doing interviews and speaking out about the technology that they're doing. It just, again, just baffling stuff. Listen to what these people say. Even Katy Perry, I can't remember I researched it. I thought where did I put that? I know I clipped it. I just don't remember where I put it. She speaks about a program that she's in, just like how Ariana Grande was talking about how she's at the Bright Clinic or whatever it's called. Katy Perry was at a clinic too. It seems like all of these celebrities are at these clinics, and they get their memories erased sometimes. They have them doing these exercises where they give them different histories, and it's just the craziest thing. They call it rehab. Remember when Amy Winehouse was singing about rehab? Trying to make me go to rehab. I say no, no, no. She was always telling us, like, they keep trying to make me do this stuff, and I'm not with it. And rehab is a code word for these indoctrination centers. When they act up, they send them to these little centers. Kanye has been a few times, and he comes out a little different. But yeah, clonate. I've heard Amen comes from Amen or Ra, the sun god, hence the day Sunday. Yeah, I heard that too until I actually read the etymology of it just the other day. I'll pull that up. It just the other day. Hold on just a second. Because they try to tell us that everything comes from Egypt, but everything, not that the Christians believe, at least. It just means barely, truly, so be it. And it's the same etymology. Amen is the same. And then the root word, same thing. Amen. To support, confirm, be faithful. To uphold, be established. So, yeah. Not true according to the Bible. Nimrod Tammuz, aka Baal. Yes. Yeah, we talked about that when we read the Enuma Elish. Tammuz built Babylon, the Tower of Babel. And this is what they worship. This is the beginning of the mystery schools. And they would go pretty much underground and they would learn different occult secrets. Because even these mystery schools, their whole idea is to get immortality when it comes down to it. But it's whether or not you're going to listen to what God said is the way to immortality, or if you're going to listen to what the serpent said. But everybody's trying to get to the same point. The English language is cursed as a whole. Yeah, I've heard, yeah, they say it's like a type of witch language. And different words have two meanings, like hello. Yeah, I've heard. I want to do a dive on that as well. I've been thinking about that heavy, especially because I've been in these conversations about languages and all that stuff. Liz, I'm laughing at your name, but laugh. You said, all jokes aside, nice rehab cover. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah. Same here. I went to medical center and they wanted me to take pills. It seems like they can do a lot with these pills. They can do a lot with these pills. They can alter your mind. They can alter your mood. They can, again, make you forget things. There's a lot of things they can do with these. And if you notice, so I go to breakfast with my parents on the weekend on Saturdays. And when I tell you it's an older crowd. They pulled out, like a couple of them pulled out a pack of pills that they have to take every day. Like, hey, I got to take these in the morning. I got to take these when I eat. I got to take these at night. And this is their routine on a daily. And this is what life has become for a lot of people, just to regulate, again, their minds. And it's crazy because even some people, they start noticing the negative effects when they're taking these pills, but because they're trying to stop the ailment that the pills were given to cure, or to, I guess, not even really cure. To me, I think it all just masks the symptoms, but that's just my qualm with it. They can't stop or won't stop taking them. So, mm, I honestly think it's breaking us down even more. Brian, okay, Mr. Davis, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I will definitely check out the email. See you soon. I said, yeah, they say everything comes from Egypt down to the littlest things. It's easy to get sucked up in that stuff. Yeah. We'll talk. We'll definitely talk about Kemet. We'll definitely talk about Kemet. Isn't bless you be less of you? It's the linguistics. Whoa. I hadn't seen that one. That's crazy. Be less of you. Oh, it's nasty. It's definitely nasty. Mm-mm. Again, people laying weight. If that is something, where we're speaking a curse of ourselves. For someone to sit and think about putting that into language is just sick. Ecclesiasticus 19:19, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. Okay. And so is Ecclesiasticus different than Ecclesiastes? I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check that out. Bible speaks about pharmacies or pharmakia in Greek. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a type of sorcery. Exactly. Type of sorcery. You just imagine that they're just cooking up all these different chemicals, putting it together in a pill form, getting us to consume it in hopes that we're going to heal our body. It's yeah, or morning and morning. Yep, good morning. Yep, silence is always the key and better majority of the time. Yeah. Slow to speak, quick to hear. That's why intentions matter. Yeah. Facts. You give words power. Power of life and death is in the tongue. Oh, it's called the Book of Siraj. Okay, I've heard of that, maybe just because of the Jill Scott song, but mm-hmm. Every piece of media I've watched this year has made fun of Christianity. It's kind of crazy. I turned off a movie just the other day. Something, for whatever, was compelling me to watch the movie Paul. Has a little alien in it. He's supposed to be wisecracking. It was an interesting movie at first, and then the blasphemy came, and I cut that right off. I let them crack one or two jokes just to see where they were going to take it, and then I cut it off. It's the ones where you're yeah, because so many people see it and they hear it, and because no one has ever had the answer to counter it, they go on believing it for the rest of their lives, and I can't get with it. Because to me, I'm thinking in my head, I have an answer for that. You know, when they're mocking, I'm like, I have an answer. I know where that answer is in scripture. But you can't tell anybody because you're sitting in front of a TV watching a movie. So I didn't like it. I turned it off. The intention behind the words you speak matters so much. You know, I'm just really starting to learn that a lot more. I've always prayed. Obviously, when you're younger, it's more because that's what you do when you're coming up in the faith. But even now, if you guys have seen, there's a Cuba Gooding Jr. interview. Cuba Gooding Jr. I lied, not Cuba Gooding. It's Omar Gooding, the younger brother. He's doing an interview and he's speaking about how when they're younger coming up, before him and his brother got famous, them not really having anything, but the one thing that his mom did was have them sing hymns. And she would sing about them having a house, and she would sing about them having a car one day, and she would sing about all these things. And he said, and then all of a sudden we had these things. We had the house, and we had the car, and we had the money, and we had the food. And just, again, now being older, when I opened this live today, I said, there's been a lot of things that I've been praying for lately that have come to fruition this week. And so just being really, like you said, just being really intentional about the words and actually meaning it and actually having faith. I posted a video on the Patreon. Myron Golden, he's speaking about the difference between faith and doubt. And it's very, very powerful. When you want to switch from being that doubtful person who, even though you want things, you never see it to fruition because probably just scared. But just having that unwavering faith, that belief that what you prayed for, you're going to get. Totally different. You said, okay, y'all, few more. I know we got on the live late tonight, but I ain't going to hold you too long. I know tomorrow is Monday. I remember Paul. Yeah, I tried to watch it, tried to give it a chance. That's how it was with the new Deadpool, super blasphemous. And I thought that even the older Deadpool was a little borderline blasphemous. That's why I didn't even try to check it out. But I think that's the type of walk that Ryan Reynolds walks. So couldn't finish it. I almost walked out of the theater today because of that movie. Because of that. Wow. So I don't even know how to say all that, but have a good night, you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Loved the conversation. I'm gonna read your last comment. It all spells at the end of the day. That's why they say good rappers or artists are masters of their craft. Music does a ton to the brain. Yeah. And so many people have spoken about the magic in music. Dope Thief, Mickey 17, Death of a Unicorn, Sinners, Opus, all these media came out this year and they made fun of Price. Wow. And I haven't heard of any of those movies. So until today, you told me about Sinners and Opus, but I mean, that's amazing. I've seen a Mickey Mouse. I don't know if it was Fantasia. It might not have just been Fantasia. I want to say it might have even been another Mickey episode, but they do a lot of witchcraft in those cartoons. that show a lot of pentagrams and different things like that. No Vanity Dre, thank you for letting me share. Have a blessed night. You are very welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, guys, that is all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Again, thank you so much for everyone who tunes in here. Thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you so much for watching the videos, liking, commenting, sharing, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you on the next one. Have a great, great week. I'll see you soon. Bye.